Hi, I'm Cynthia from Artbeads.com, and I would like to show you how to do the square stitch. So the square stitch is a pretty easy stitch. It's kind of have the feeling of a beading loom stitch. And I have some samples here to show you. So this is made of a square stitch with 8/0, and this is also an 8/0, and this is a 11/0 seed bead. To see the difference, this is a peyote stitch. So if I put them side by side, you can see the difference, how the square stitch, the seed beads goes in a row, but the peyote, they alternate. They're not in a row at all. And when you have a beading loom and beading bracelet and you're missing some rows, you can always add by doing a square stitch. So let me show you how to do this. So I have a blend here, one of a seed bead blend, because I love mixing the colors, and I'm going to start with one color only. And here I'm using the 8/0, and I have a KO thread, but you can use also Fireline. And I use in my project I always use about 1 yard because it's a comfortable length, and you can always add a thread after. So got this, and I'm going to add, I'm doing 6 beads right now. Slide those beads until the end. Leave a good about 6 inch for the tail, and because you're going to need to weave this tail after. So the tail is here, and I've got my bead here, and I'm picking up one bead. I'm going to put them straight like that for you to see better, and I'm going to go, so I'm going to go on top of this bead and go down. Went through that bead, I'm going back up. I'm going up on the bead that I just added, like that, and tight. And right now they just moved, so with your fingers you can just place them back. So the first row, like any stitch, it's always the most difficult one, but then it gets easier. Okay, so they're not lined up right correctly, but they will later. So I'm gonna grab another bead. I'm going from the top to the bottom of the second bead, like that, there, and I have to go back through the bead that I added from the bottom to the top. Okay, and now your beads start to lining up. Again, picking up a bead. I'm going from the top to the bottom. There, and I need to go back through the bead that I just added from the bottom to the top. Like that. So I'm gonna keep adding some beads from the bottom to from the top to the bottom, and then from the bottom to the top. So I want to go to the end of the row to show you the next step. So now you did 2 rows, but you need to make them stronger. So I'm gonna go back through all the beads from my first row, like that, and then you need to go through all the beads on the second row, like that. And now you're ready to add more beads and do a new row. But what I like is to flip my work and go this way, because I like to work from the bottom to the top. So let's add a new color. So I'm taking a bead, and it's exactly the same step that I showed you before. So you go from the top to the bottom, there, and then you go through the bead that you just added from the bottom to the top, like that. Let's add another bead, and then it's exactly the same. When you get to the end of the row, you have to go through the 2 rows. So I'm going back through all the beads in the row below the previous row. So make sure that you go through all the beads, you tie it, and you go through your new row of beads like that. And now you're ready to add some new beads. So you flip your work and you start adding some new rows, and that's it. So this is the square stitch. It's a pretty easy stitch to do, and I hope you will have fun making this stitch. So thank you for joining us, and see you next time.